Welcome back, and we're joined live in the studio now by Eureka Mayor Susan Seaman, who's actually about to leave office after completing her term. Susan, welcome back to Redwood News. Really good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
Now, I can't believe it's the end of your term already, but what have been the highlights of your time as Mayor of Eureka?
You know, there have been so many. It was kind of 8 years packed in a 4-year term, for sure. When I started, I did the Children's Initiative, which was really important to me. I loved that. 3 years ago, just 3 years ago, in the last week or two, was the return of Tolawat to the Wiyot people, which is just the most wonderful thing you could be part of in the whole world. I mean, that was certainly a highlight. And then I got to end it with the Sarah Bareilles concert, which was pretty fabulous. And in between, we had the pandemic, and I got to talk to our constituents once a week through the weekly addresses, and it was a very busy year, very busy term.
The fun thing. Now, I've asked all the candidates that we've had in about finding common ground when councillors just don't agree. What's been your experience of reaching consensus in your time as the chair?
Well, you know, it's really interesting. Eureka is the only city in Humboldt County where the mayor doesn't vote. So I really do get to kind of play that, the facilitator of the conversations, but there are times when we didn't agree. A lot of those conversations were, sometimes we'd have closed session meetings about some really heavy issues, but we always agreed that at the end of the day, we would respect one another, and we would be respectful to each other. And I think everybody owned up to that. I mean, at one point, we had 2 of our candidates running for supervisor, and they maintained always, not even respect. They remained friendly, and we worked together well. I really could not have landed in a better situation.
Well, that's great to know. Now, what advice, if any, would you offer to anyone who's coming onto the councils in our area, any of the councils?
What advice would I offer to anybody who is coming into council? That there is a lot of negativity and a lot of division. That's what you see from the outside, which makes approaching something like this really scary. It's not that bad once you get in there. People will say quietly to you that they like what you do, that you're doing a good job. So it seems like anybody with any sanity would not put themselves in a situation where people are yelling at you all the time. But man, you get to see the best of people as well. Yeah. That's what I would tell people.
Now, what's next for you personally after your term's off? So I think it's the 20th of December you actually end, isn't it?
The 20th of December is my last day, and I will be continuing my job. So the reason I didn't take a second term is that I work for Arcata Economic Development Corporation, where we do regional economic development. And it has been so busy that I'm just going to go and do that job.
Well, that's a lot on your plate as well.
It's really important, wonderful stuff. So I'll still get to do housing. I'll still get to work with getting access to child care and health care. It'll just be in a little different format. Well,
Susan, you're going to be staying with us. Susan's going to be back with us for Redwood News Live at 6, so we'll look forward to seeing you then. Thank you so much for joining us for Live at 5. We'll get some more insight, I think, on some of the races tonight as well when you join us at 6.
That's why you asked me to come. So.
We're looking forward to that. And we'll be right back after this short break.